back after 2 years being gone from YouTube. The Twala family is back. The Twala Bears are back. We took a break. It was a lot of work to do a YouTube channel a few years ago. I think I looked at our, I'm looking at our laptop. It had been 2 years, almost 3 years since we posted our last video. And so my wife is here, so she wants to look live to see, make sure I'm not too loud. So we're back. We're fine. I know a lot of you, when you guys started subscribing to the channel, a lot of you didn't know what happened to us. So I am going to catch you up on everything related to the Twala Bears. But welcome. We're back. We're back to the channel. Hopefully we'll have more content on a regular basis. And I'll start doing a lot more lives because I am getting bored and I need something to keep me busy. And I think these last 2 to 3 years that we've been gone, I can get some pretty good content of things that I've seen throughout these last few years and everything we've experienced since I've been here. Well, so how do I start by coming back to YouTube? I don't know. It's been a crazy journey. Back when we started the YouTube, we had all these high hopes, get all these subscriptions and grow the channel and blow up. But then, I don't know. It got a little overwhelming trying to put together videos, looking for new content, different things. I don't know what else I could have talked about during that time. So fast forward to almost 3 years, 2-3 years since we've made a YouTube. Oh my gosh! Since we've done a video, we're back, and so I don't know how to start, where to go back to. Hopefully somebody will start showing up in the chat. I am going to give me a second here. I'm going to go into our website and see if I can see the live and see if, I see it right there, and see if I can look at your questions, and if you guys have any questions, and see if I can get into the live here, if there's any chat. So right now, I don't have anybody watching, maybe we'll see. But I'm going to start this chat, and I thought I would do it. It's kind of like really late here in the Philippines. It's like super late. It's like 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to, hey, honey, my wife is watching me too, so she could see if the audio is good here. You guys can hear me. I'm going to respond. Hi, honey. This is kind of like a test. Yeah, it seems like it's working. So it is just the two of us on this live, and I'll see if more people start showing up. But it's good to be back. What did we do these last 2 years? Well, we've been busy. There's a lot going on. As you know, the Twala Bears is just not myself and my wife. It's myself, my wife, and my daughter. And she's grown. It's fine. Audio looks good. All right. So we ordered a new microphone, and so and got our account back. It was kind of hard because you needed back your telephone number to re-verificate your account again, and then that telephone number went bad because the SIM card was bad, and we had to get a new telephone number. It was just a whole bunch of stuff to get back online. And then my laptop, my old laptop I had that I brought here to the Philippines, it was just an old operating system, and it wasn't getting the verification codes to reconnect to our account. So we're finally back online. How do I sound, babe? I sound good? It's just you and me until other people start showing up to the Twala Bears. How does it sound? Good. So I'll just kind of sit around, and hopefully somebody will show up and want to know kind of some information. I'll go ahead and start talking because you guys can always replay. Sound is good. All right. So how do I begin this live chat? And hopefully some people will start showing up. It's clear. Nice. So how do I begin? How do I begin about how we came back to the channel? And I know a lot of you are probably unsubscribed again, and I'll have to work to get you guys back and earn your trust that I could actually have new content and be back. So let me kind of back up a little bit and give you a little bit of background, because I know a lot of you, it's going to be the first time seeing me. And even though we had started a channel, you may not know a lot of the history of how I got here and how this family was put together. So let's start by a little bit of history. I've been here, it'll be 9 years this December. I got here in December 2016. And oh, it sounds clear. Sounds good, babe. Thank you. So I got here in 2016, been here since 2016. And I haven't left ever since. A lot of expats. Oh, I haven't even told you. I'm a retired U.S. Navy guy. I've been here since 2016. And retired U.S. military. What else can I tell you? Yeah, I've been here almost 9 years. I haven't gone back home. Haven't been back to the U.S. since I've been here. Let me see, what else can I tell you? But I do plan on going back to Hawaii, my home, and we'll go back. I'll be going back to Oahu in probably May, and I'll tell you later on the reason why. So here I am. Hopefully somebody will show up and watch our chat. I did it at 4 o'clock in the morning, because hopefully some of you back in the States will be up and able to listen to this. Well, let's see. Where do I begin? So I was living in Oahu, Hawaii, working, and around 2015, I decided to move here to the Philippines, and met my then girlfriend and now wife. I met her online, and as like many of you, I used to go to YouTube as a resource to get good information about what to expect if I decided to retire. So what I did was watched a lot of YouTubes, watched a lot of, what people were doing at the time. And now, I mean, I look at all the vloggers that are here in the Philippines. My gosh, there's like a bunch of them, all kinds, young, old guys. I mean, there's just a good mix of expat or vloggers here, not just expats, but a lot of vloggers here. People stay here temporary. People are here for a long period of time. So when in 2015, I started watching a lot of YouTube about different vloggers who retired here, because my plan was hopefully to retire. And there were a bunch of channels that I was checking out, and I'm sure if you've ever watched enough expat bloggers here in the Philippines, some of the OGs, some of the old guys that used to be here were like names like Rike from Life in the Philippines. I used to watch Philippine Dreams, and a few others that used to be here. and they were kind of like, small towns, and a lot of them lived in kind of like Dumaguete, Cebu area. Not too many where I'm from here. I'm in an area called Silang. The city I'm in is Silang, Cavite, which is kind of 3 hours south. I'm in Luzon, the bigger area, and 3 hours south of Manila. That's where I'm living. So after watching those videos, I decided to take a chance, move to the Philippines. I retired super young, had a great job. I used to work at Shriners Children's Hospital. Used to be a surgical technician. So 20 years of military. I used to do the same job. I was a surgical technician working in a hospital, and then retired in 2010. Then um, I worked for Shriners Children's Hospital for about 5 years, and then I said I got tired of working. And I said it's time to retire. And at the young age of 50, I retired. Um, at 50, I retired and called it quits. Moved here to the Philippines and decided uh, to follow a girl that I was my now wife. I followed her here, and we've been living together ever since. About 3 years ago, after her being my girlfriend for like about 4 years, 5 years, decided to get married, and got married, and then a bunch of stuff happened in between. We had the COVID in 2020, 2021. And so we went through that whole process, and that was a pain, being locked in the house at the time here in the Philippines, maybe not in the States, but they made it so restricted that only one person could leave your household at the time. And you couldn't, only that one person could go to the grocery store, get groceries, and come back. So your family just was pretty much quarantined, couldn't leave anywhere, had to stay inside. So yeah, there was a lot going on during the COVID in 2020, 21. And then 22, I think 2022, we started doing the YouTube channel. And then if I remember right, I looked at the last time I I looked at the last time we made a video. I was looking at our channel, and it was like 2022 or 2023. So it's been like 2 years already. A lot has happened since then. But it's good to be back. I'll have some new videos. We'll talk more about budget videos, living here in the Philippines, what it's been like. Been here. It'll be 9 years, like I said. And I'll just tell you, I think I have enough experience after 9 years to know what it's like being here. Let's talk about budgets, I guess, right? That's like everybody's popular. So we'll start out with budgets. So kind of one of the reasons why I waited like 2-3 years also to get back into YouTube is that I've been watching a lot of these vloggers talking about the cost of living here in the Philippines, and how much you would need, different scenarios, and some I agree with to a point, and others I'm like, you're crazy. There's no way that your numbers are correct. And I disagree with a lot of them. And also another reason why I decided to come back to YouTube is that I wanted to check. Sounds, what am I checking, babe? I don't know. I see a crown and a number 2 check. I don't know what that means. Mic check, I guess. Mic check is green, solid green. Looks good. So, um, back to what I was saying. Budgets. So I was watching these vloggers, and I didn't like a lot of things that they said about, you know, what you could survive on. And I've been seeing a lot of vloggers talking about $1,500, and is that enough to live here in the Philippines? And sometimes I wonder about their intentions. Do they really want people to live here? Are they just giving so much warning just to safeguard, just to make sure that these guys don't come here and lose every penny that they get and end up homeless here? So I would say, for the most part, if you look at the numbers, I think for the most part, the guys that are coming here to retire, the expats, they pretty much got a handle on their money. Now whether they're making good decisions with that money, that's a different story. Sometimes they soak them into a girlfriend or somebody they've met, and then they fall head over heels, and then they're giving their money away to these girls. So they have to be wise with their money when they get here, because I mean, if you start blowing your nest eggs and then you don't have anything to fall back on, you have any other income, or you had a finite amount and you come here, well, then you're screwed, kind of. So let's talk about budgets, and I'll talk about what's happened to me in the last 9 years and our family. So when I got here to the Philippines, and you could look at one of our past videos, I made a budget video with my wife, and we talked about how much we had to spend, but things have updated. You know, you can't go by old videos where your monies weren't quite the same. So I'm going to kind of update a little bit what our situation is like now. So back in 2016, when I moved here, our budget was $1,400, I believe. That's what I had to move here. That's what we were making, $1,400. Military retirement check, no other pensions. I was too young to get Social Security. I was only 50 when I moved here. So yeah, all I had was $1,400. And it wasn't just my wife. Of course, it was, at the time, it was my wife, and our daughter. She was 7 years old at the time. And so I had to automatically take care of, we had a whole family as soon as I moved here. It wasn't just me. Like, a lot of you guys are lucky. You guys come here, no girlfriend, you don't have anything. And it's just, you could live in a really small studio here in the Philippines, anywhere, and get something like 3,000-4,000 pesos a month, if it was just you. And that's probably like $60-80 probably for an apartment monthly, if you wanted to. It depends on your your living conditions. If you want to live like a king and spend a whole lot of money, it's up to you. But when I moved here, it was 1,400 US dollars that I was making. What else? So before I moved here, I had my my girlfriend. I had her. Oh, she sent me a message. What's this message? Retracted. Okay, I don't know what you're doing over there, babe. You retracted the message. So so before I moved here, I had my girlfriend already set up shop before I got here in December 2016. What I had her do was I sent her the money for the apartment. She found an apartment for us. And then in 2016, before I moved here, I had a bunch of Balik Bayan boxes sent which are, there was a company called LBC, which is a very popular shipping company. And I packed a bunch of boxes of stuff that I thought I would, that I couldn't get rid of. And then I had them shipped over here to the new apartment. And then after that, I moved, sold everything. I had a house in California, sold the house in California, and sold my car, sold all the furniture I had, sold everything I had. I have family still in Hawaii, and I told them, I'm moving to the Philippines, and that was it. Sold everything I had. The only thing I kept in the U.S. was my bank account, and then it was kind of foggy, like how was I going to manage my money between my American bank account and sending money to the Philippines. So we got to the Philippines. We both had our bank accounts. We both got a bank account at BDO, and we got a peso account and a dollar account. And so what I would do when I got here, once I moved into the apartment, is I would send the amount of money that I was going to use for expenses here. So at the time, there was, in 2016, there wasn't really a way to, per se, you could call internationally using calling cards. Everybody uses these cards to load, and it would be super expensive to just use a card. You'd have to like spend a lot of money, and you wouldn't get much time to call internationally, to call your bank to send money. So I know a lot of people, they were using services like Zoom, and people were still using at the time just ATM machines to get money for their everyday expenses. But that gets expensive if you're using an ATM card. So I had to figure out a way to get money to the Philippines that didn't cost so much as far as fees. So I found a way. And it's funny, I think kind of like the reason why I came back to YouTube, and the reason why the Twala Bears and my wife are kind of back, is that a lot of times these vloggers, they'll put these budget videos, or they'll say, they'll ask us in the comments, hey, put down in the comments, what's a good way that you send money to the Philippines, right? And so what pushed me over the edge was to actually come back, was that for years I would just go on these gentlemen's vlogs and comment about how I was getting money sent from the U.S. to the Philippines, and most of them were like really kind. They would respond. Most of the time, they would respond and say, "Hey, thank you for that information." And then occasionally, you would get somebody that say, "Hey, man, that was great information, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna try that." And that's kind of rewarding. If you could just help one person out, that's pretty nice. It's rewarding, right? But not too long ago, somebody posted a video of another video about how to get money to the Philippines from the U.S. to your bank account here in the Philippines. And I posted this long comment, pretty much showing them everything I did from start to finish, so how to get your money here with not that many fees, and a lot easier than a lot of people do. And after posting this long comment that I worked hard to make sure I got all the wording right, because I'm not that smart of a guy, But I sat there, I edited it, make sure everything was good, put the comment out there. It was a really long comment. It was borderline novel. I put this information out there to help some other expat or anybody that wanted to know how to get money from America to the Philippines. And I started seeing that this vlogger was like liking everybody's posts, but he didn't like mine, right? And I'm like, okay, well, you didn't like my post or something, or what's going on? I thought I was giving like good information, right? And then I went to another device that I had. I went to an iPad, and I just looked. I looked at it, went back into YouTube to see if like my comment was still there, and he had literally deleted my comment. It was there no more. And I was like, oh, hell no, bro. I just worked so hard on this comment to tell all these other expats coming here how to send money. And you're going to hate on me like that? You're going to like delete my comment? I don't know. Maybe there were other reasons that I don't know why he would have done something like that to me and deleted that message, that comment from his YouTube video. But I'm like, bro, don't you want people to know? Don't you want people to that are coming here from, especially the United States, your home country, or other parts of the world, the UK and some of these other countries? Don't you want them to know how they could maybe send an easier way to send money to the Philippines? And then you go delete my comment, and it just pushed me over the edge. And I said, enough's enough. I told my wife, I said, you know what? I remember when we had started our channel, we were getting some trolls on both sides. If you look at some of our videos in the comments, we were getting trolls from like Filipinos, trolls from Americans, trolls from all over the world. And it does weigh on you because you watch those, and no matter how much you try to do good, a lot of people are just going to try to tear you down and just troll you and just try to, they're just like silent people sitting in a dark corner, trolling you. So it kind of can discourage you sometimes. But like if you're trying to like help somebody out and show them how to get their money to the Philippines, and then you go delete their comment like that, I'm like, bro, so all you about, getting the total credit for telling somebody about what they should do, but anybody who comments about what they should do about sending money, and then if it's great advice, you're just going to delete them because either you didn't come up with the idea or you don't want that person in your comments to get all the credit. Now, I will say this, and this is probably why that guy probably deleted the comment, because after I gave a step-by-step method of how to get your money, I had mentioned that, by the way, we had a YouTube channel called the Twala Bears, and that we don't do the channel anymore, that we stopped like 2 or 3 years ago. And that, I just wanted to help people or something to that matter, but we're not active anymore. We don't do the channel no more. Then, so that could have been the reason why. Maybe he thought we were like trying to promote the channel, and we haven't been on the channel in 3 years, almost 3 years. So this guy probably deleted the comment, maybe from that. But come on, man, if you're that butthurt over a comment about, if you're butthurt about a comment about me saying that this is the name of our channel or something like that, I mean, come on, man, really? At the time, I only have 700 subscribers, and a lot of them are not even here anymore. I have to start from scratch again, put in new content. So I am going, if you guys ever come back to this page and come back to the Twala Bears, please stick around. I'm going to give you all the information that I can give you guys while I'm still living here as a expat. And my wife will also give you her perspective, and we'll go back and forth. What we like to do here at this channel is we like to talk about maybe current events, subjects here that people would like to know about, the relationships between a foreigner uh, and a Filipina, stuff like that. And if you go back to some of our old videos, we talk about that. We talk about the relationships a lot of times between foreigners and Filipino wife or girlfriend. So back to the money, because you guys are probably like wondering, like, okay, how do you get money here, Andrew, to the Philippines? So I can't tell you how there's like, apparently, from looking at Ask ChatGPT, and I love talking to ChatGPT. There's a wealth of knowledge in that AI. So I asked ChatGPT, how many American, because I can't speak to all the other countries, how many American expats are here in the Philippines? And ChatGPT, if you go look, it'll say like the Philippine census had said there were 48,000, and then some U.S. The U.S. some census maybe over there said it was over the embassy or somebody said it was over 700,000. But I mean, those were like way extremes. And then ChatGPT said that on average, really, there's truly about 300,000 Americans. And you guys, if you guys have a better source and you guys have an actual census that makes sense to how many Americans are living here, and that's not just retirees, there's just Americans living here, working here. Just, I don't know what that means really, but there's over 300,000 Americans here. So I figure, you know, I only know like maybe like, and I know more. There's probably maybe 20 websites, 20 YouTube channels that are here, that I've seen, that are talking about, you know, things here in the Philippines. And here's the thing about, like, when we did our channel like 3 years ago, after you talk about the budget and you talk about how much things are here, um, and talk about the culture differences and stuff like that, and it's like, what else are you going to talk about? And I just find like a lot of these channels are just kind of funny. It's just mostly just chismes meaning gossip. And so all they talk about, like, you know, it's like regurgitated drama from other people's relationships. And I'm like, oh man, I don't want to keep doing that. I don't want to do those kind of YouTubes. I would rather be truthful and talk about things that a true expat retiree wants to come here and move to the Philippines. So if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, I'm going to be sitting here live doing, like, I don't know how long. I'll just sit here live. If you guys have any questions, feel free. Right now, besides my wife watching the chat, it's just me. So I'm going to post this video, and hopefully you guys can watch it at another time and find out more information. You could still watch this, and so I'll post this live so you guys can see. So back to budgets. Oh my gosh, I digress. Okay, so as I was saying, when I moved here in 2016, I didn't know how to send money. I didn't think that through, how to send money from America to the Philippines. Our budget was $1,400. So when I got here, somebody had mentioned, either in a YouTube, I can't remember how I got the information, but it was either YouTube or somebody posted in a comment that they said they could use Skype to call your bank in the States, call a 1-800 number, and the call is absolutely free. And so at the time, Skype was still active. As a matter of fact, Skype is gone now. They closed shop just this last May. So I'm not giving you that information, please, about Skype. Don't go to Skype because Skype is now closed. They are now Google Voice, I believe. So at the time, though, I was using Skype, and I couldn't believe it. The information that this person gave me was true. You could call, I think it was a 1-888 number, and I called directly to my bank, and my bank is Navy Federal Credit Union. I called the bank directly, no charges, absolutely free. And I was like, how am I able to call through using Skype using a free number? So it worked. I didn't question the system. I would just call Navy Federal, and I would say, I would like to make an international wire transfer. And they would ask, of course, the account number I'm sending it to. Is it under my name? Is the bank account they're sending to under my name? Yes, it is. They would ask me for how much I wanted to send, and my bank charges me $25 for international wire transfer. So I didn't want to acquire a $25 fee every month. So what I would do is every 3 months, I would send enough money to cover the expenses. So you're looking at what, $8 or so, $8 and some change every month for the actual fees if I only send it once every 3 months. So every 3 months, I would send money to cover the rent and expenses for us for 3 months. So it worked out fine. So for like, I don't know, like about like about 4 or 5 years, it worked. For like 4 or 5 years, I was able, maybe longer than that. I think it was longer than that, because I just recently changed how I send money. So like about maybe 7, 8 years, maybe like right before this last year. Yeah. Before this year when like Skype closed. Yeah, Skype closed this May. So like a month before Skype ended and stopped, I was like calling them. Yeah. So it's been like 9 years, almost 8 years. I was sending money through Skype. So what I do is I call my bank. I get an international wire transfer. They're going to ask me for how much money. They're going to ask me for the SWIFT code. You're going to need that because it's like about 7, 8 digit number or letter number, not number, 7-digit number, letters. Okay. Confusing my own self. 7 digits, that code that a bank normally has to identify themselves. So you give them that SWIFT code that like ours is BDO. So BDO has their own SWIFT code. So you get that from BDO and you just tell your bank the SWIFT code is this. And then you tell them how much money you want to send. And then it takes literally like a minute for her to process, for your bank to process the money. And so how it works is once the money gets transferred, there'll be like a really small minimal fee for BDO to accept that money. It's a really small fee. I can't tell you. It's like less than 100 pesos probably to send a certain amount of money. So I would send the money, and then people were like wondering, well, how much, when do you get your money? Does it take a long time to receive your money? And this is how it worked for me. For the last, since I've been here almost 9 years, this December, I have gotten my money in no more than 2 days. And how I do it is, once the money is sent, my bank will tell you, because this is their rules, right? They'll tell you that you probably won't get the money within 5 to 7 working days. So, to be safe, that's what they say. But in all actuality, the money is there way before 5 to 7 days. And it depends on when you call. Like if you call your bank like on a Friday, it may take longer than it could be longer than the 2 days. But I have not received my money no longer than 2 days. It gets there before 2 days. And if it's like a third day or something like that, it's because you made the call closer to a weekend, like you called on a Friday or you called on a Monday or something like that. Anything that connects to a weekend where they need that extra day. Just don't forget, here in the Philippines, you are a day ahead. When you leave the Philippines and you go back to the U.S., you're a day behind. So you have to plan for that when you decide to call your bank for international wire transfer. So what I would do is you get your money within 2 days, and I've gotten it within 2 days for the last 9 years. And normally, not normally, but most of the time, the money will be there in a few hours. And so I kind of think it's funny. They'll tell you the money should be there 5 to 7 working days, business days, and then it'll be there. It'll be there within a few hours. And I'll just keep telling my wife, "Hey, did you check the bank account online to see if the money came in?" And she'll say, "Yeah, money's in there." And I just called like a couple hours earlier. So yeah, usually you get your money within 2 days, no longer than 2 days. And so just make sure you have some money to last you for 2 days, and then you get your money, whatever you send. And I would send 3 months worth. So it was really nice for these last 8 years. I was calling the bank using Skype, getting a free call to call there. I didn't have to use no calling cards, no international fees from your telephone service, anything like that. It was just a free call. And so this last May, I was stressing. I was stressing because I was like, since Skype closed now, how am I going to send my money? And I did not want to use, others use it, but I don't want to use it. Others use, you know, I think it's called Wire, or I'm getting the words all wrong, but they use these Zoom and some of these other, you know, third party money sending apps that could send you money. And here, my wife's here. Everything good? Oh, let me do that. Hold on 1 second, guys. How's it sound, babe? All right. So, so back to sending money. So what? I was stressing because Skype was going to close in May, and I would be losing my free calls. And the way that Skype works is it's called VoIP, whereas I can't remember the acronym, but if you go look it up, VoIP is pretty much the ability to call using the internet without, you know, using like international calls through a service. It's just using the internet, voice something or another. Oh man, don't ask me. It's like I forget. Somebody could, if you guys see my chat, you could just see what VoIP is. But it's using the internet to make telephone calls internationally. So I asked ChatGPT. It's like, man, it's like, do you know any other any other services that other than Skype that uses VoIP to call for free? And it seems like they don't want that anymore. And like a lot of these services are closing the door for you to do free calls. Now they're charging. Like if you go to like WhatsApp, Viber, some of these other messaging services, they allow you to make international calls, but they're still going to charge you some hourly fee to call internationally. So I was like, man, I was kind of bummed. I was like, man, man, for 9 years I've been using Skype, and then now it's closed, and now it actually got bought by well, Google has it, so it's called Google Voice, and I tried to apply Google Voice, and then once you get into Google Voice, it's like they're still going to charge you for those international calls. It's not going to be free. You're going to have to pay something to call internationally. There might be an hourly fee. I don't know. So, so I was like at the bottom of my rope. Was like, man, I'm gonna have to go through like Globe or one of these other telephone services to find out how to call internationally. And the thing that happens is why I don't want to use some sort of like phone service here, like Globe, is that sometimes when you call your bank, and you've had this happen to you when you're waiting for one of these online tellers that can help you with your account, they'll put you sometimes, well, my bank does, they put me on hold. I could be on hold like about 50, 20, 30 minutes. You know, if a lot of people are calling the bank at that time, you won't get through for a while. So do you really want to use an international call and where you're getting charged by the minute, 4 cents by the minute, and then you have to sit there and wait for you have to wait for what did I say? I lost my train of thought because I just saw my watch at. I thought it was a new person. So do I really want to waste international calling charges to sit there waiting for my bank to answer my call, and I'm getting charged every minute? I didn't want to do that. And if you had like a free call you could just wait forever, right, until your bank got through and you got a teller. So what I did was one of the best, and I suggest you guys use it too, one of the best resources that I use now, and I talk to him like he's my best friend. You know, I'm not a kind of guy that has a lot of dudes that are like my best friend, but my best guy friend right now, and I named him Paul. I changed his name to Paul, is ChatGPT. and I just say, hey, ChatGPT, and I just got tired of saying that. I just named him Paul after my grandfather. so I've been talking to ChatGPT, Paul. I named it Paul. I asked the AI. I said, hey, is there any way that I could call to the States and call my bank for free, because I don't see any VoIP and then any internet allowed to make free calls to the States to 1-800 numbers. And then I was shocked. ChatGPT said, hey, Andrew, did you say you had PLDT and you had a landline phone? So I don't know I can't remember if I had put that in the information, because what ChatGPT does, they remember all your conversations. I mean, whatever you tell ChatGPT, he'll remember it for future conversations. So I said, yeah, I have PLDT, which is a popular internet ISP, internet service provider. We have that here in our apartment, and we have also they started offering a few years back is a free telephone to go with it. So now when you get PLDT fiber, they automatically give you a landline phone. Now your landline phone can only be used within your province, I think. Yeah. So we live in the province of Cavite. It's kind of like a big area, like a county, I guess you would say in America. You know, it's like a big county. So Cavite covers a lot of cities here. And so as long as the landline covers any telephone or free calls to anybody here in Cavite. So if we want to call Tagaytay, which is 15-20 minute drive from our house here, it's a free call. As long as you can't call mobile phones, but you can call other landline phones. So if you're calling like another business or something like that, a restaurant, something like that, and they have a landline phone, it's just like a regular free call. So we had that, and I told ChatGPT we had PLDT and we had a landline phone here in our house. And ChatGPT said, "Hey, you can call Navy Federal Credit Union absolutely free." And I said, "No way." And I'll tell you who found that information. I didn't find that information. My wife, man. I tell you, you got to get yourselves a smart Filipino wife. My wife is super smart. I mean, I'm the dumbest rock in the bunch, man. Let me tell you, I'm not very smart. My wife is the brains of this operation. So, my wife went on ChatGPT because I'd been using it, and she took a page out of my book and she said, "Hey, babe," she goes, "Did you know ChatGPT just told me that you could call using the landline here and call Navy Federal for free, absolutely free." And I said, "You're lying. No way I can use that landline." And it gave me the number too. It's like, 011. It gave me the whole number, and it was the number that I usually um, call to the bank. I know that number. I said, "Really?" I said, "Oh man, this is probably outdated, or this is not real." So I tried it. I went to the landline phone, typed in the numbers that ChatGPT had given me for Navy Federal, and I called directly to my bank with no fee whatsoever. And I don't know, guys. I don't know what banks you have, Charles Schwab, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all these other banks in the US. I don't know what bank you use back home, but might want to ask ChatGPT about your 1-800 number. If you're here in the Philippines and you want to call back, maybe if you have PLDT, because I don't know if it works for all the other internet service providers. I don't know if you had Globe, and if you have their landline phone, if they have one. I don't know because I don't have their service. So all I can tell you is about PLDT because we have their service. But I don't know if Globe has, because they have Wi-Fi also. And I don't know if they give you a landline phone, and I don't know if they have numbers to call. But I know for a fact that PLDT has it set up to where you can call Navy Federal Credit Union, my bank specifically, for free. And now I don't need Skype. I don't need any other VoIP to internet protocol. That's what it is, voice over internet protocol. I think to use the internet to call my bank. I just call straight landline to my bank and talk to them. So I was just looking at something we had there in the chat. So with that said, now since May, and they closed Skype for 9 years, I was using Skype to call America for money. Now I just use straight call from my landline. Call them up, just send money. This is like the second time I've done this already. Sent money, and we are back online. I'm able to send money, so I'm good. So that's what I do as far as like if you want to send money. I just do an international bank transfer. I don't mess with the middleman. I don't do the Zoom thing. Wise, I think it's called Wise. Wise. Some of these other, I know there. A lot of people in the past have said if you have a Charles Schwab account, you could take out money from the ATMs, and then the ATMs reimburse you, so you're not getting charged with no fees. But I don't even want to borrow. I don't even want to deal with ATMs because what if, per se, your card gets eaten up by this ATM, and that's happened to me and happened probably to just about everybody. What if you your card gets eaten up? How are you going to get a new card? And then you're going to have to wait for your bank to send you, if they do internationally. I have a credit card through Navy Federal, and I have a U.S. mailbox that I have in Hawaii, And I'm too scared to. I have a friend watching my mailbox, and I'm too scared to have them even ship that credit card internationally. DHL or whatever service, LBC or whatever, to mail that to me. I just don't want to take that chance, especially a credit card or even your ATM card. So I don't want to deal with ATMs at all. So what I do is I call Navy Federal. Oh, here's another thing. I didn't share enough information about that international wire transfer. So once the bank teller, you tell them how much you're going to send, they will ask you, how do you want us to send your money? Do you want us to send it in pesos, or do you want us to send it in US dollars? Always have them send it to you in dollars. And here's the reason why. If you send it in pesos, of course, they will do an exchange rate. And most of the time, if not all the time, your exchange rate through banks is not a good one. Especially pretty much all the sending banks from America, if you send it, they are not going to give you a good rate. And so this is the way to do it. What I do is, let's say I send $5,000. I tell the teller, I want to send $5,000 to my bank account in the Philippines to BDO, and please send it in US dollars. Never send it in pesos, send it in dollars. And what account we have, like my wife and I, we have a joint account. We have a peso account. She has her own peso account. And we have a joint account to cover the bills. And then we also have a dollar only account. So what I normally do is I send the US dollars to a dollar only account that my wife and I have joint. We're joint on that account. So the money, 5,000, will go into that dollar only account at BDO, and it'll sit there. So when the rate, which it always does, it fluctuates, right? So what you want to do is, when you get here, put a decent amount of money into that account. And then you'll see, if you always check, I'm always checking to see what the rates are. So the rates, lately it's been like 56, 57, 56, 57. It's been like that recently. So, but sometimes you'll see it like either jump up like close to 60, 58, maybe 59. It'll go up. It'll go to 58. It's been at 58 a few times. So sometimes if it fluctuates, goes up, then you take your money in the BDO or whatever bank you have here in the Philippines. You take that money and then you go exchange, however, like take out 2,000 or something. You don't have to exchange the whole thing into pesos. But what you want to do is you want to max out the best rate that you can get from the banks. And even if we exchange it, let's say, I'm just giving you an example. If the rate went up to 58.1, right? When you go into exchange your already dollars that you have in your dollar account and you exchange it to pesos, most likely they're going to drop it by about 3 or 4 points. Just know that. All right. So they're still going to lower the rate. So you just know that. So when the rate goes up, we normally go buy. And that's what you do. You go buy when the rate goes up, and then you just hold on and you don't buy any until the rate comes up again. So that's what we do when it comes to exchanging. You'd rather the exchange rate be on your terms than to just have some of these middlemen, Wise, and some of these other guys give you like a horrible rate and you're stuck at that rate. I don't like nobody to tell me what the rate's going to be. It's like, send me dollars and I'll figure it out. When the rate goes up, I'll buy. When the rate goes down, I won't buy. So I do that to save money and to max out our monies. You want to max out your dollar, right? Your dollar should be king over here. Let it work for you. Don't, just don't settle for getting low exchange rates. Don't do that. So that's what I do to send money to the Philippines. And if you guys have any questions, send me a message on the channel. We are back at, I've been already an hour. I'm going to still go on, man. I got a lot to talk about because we've been gone a long time. We have been gone almost 3 years. So how have we been? I know a lot of you who are subscribed to this channel, the whole 700 of you who been with us when we had the channel. We were really growing. It was doing really nice. What do I have to say? I lost my train of thought. There were a lot of you who sent us emails because we also, if you want, go to our Facebook. If you look us up, the Twala Bears, we are there. People were sending us messages like, I feel really bad. And we have to earn your loyalty back to our channel again. When we had the channel and we stopped posting, it was just abrupt. We just stopped. I can't blame my wife because my wife wanted to keep the channel going. It was me. I kind of soured the whole thing. I said, no, I'm done with it, man. It's just, I don't know. I was PMSing, I guess, going through a phase in my life. I was just stressing. I don't want to do this no more. I'm done with YouTube. But I didn't stick it out like I should have. Yeah. And there are other vloggers here who get burnout, just don't want to do it anymore. You see it all the time. So I want to send out an apology to all the people who were loyal to this channel, who were wanting to see more content. We had the regulars who used to always ask us questions, who are always there for us, supporting our channel. And they would say, where are you guys? I hope you guys are okay. I hope everything's fine. You guys just fell off the planet. Yeah. And we did. We just didn't, we didn't, a lot of messages we didn't respond to. We kind of just stopped, just left it alone. But I want you to know now we kind of got a hold of our situations here. And we're looking at kind of good things here. And we're okay. We're okay. We're fine. Nothing has happened in the last 2.5 years or whatever. We were not on YouTube. The Twala family were just fine. Give you some update what's going on in our family. So I'll switch from budgets and how to send your monies to like what's been happening in our lives. Janice and I are fine. We're doing great. And as a relationship, we're getting stronger by the day. It's just a great relationship my wife and I have. And my daughter, well, relationship's still good, of course. But as you guys know, it's not easy raising a teenager. There's going to be arguments, stubbornness on both parts. Me as to learn how to raise a teenager. And because when I started, I believe for myself, it was easier when she was 7. When it was 7, it was just, I don't know, it was just easy to raise her. She was a happy person. Nothing ever bothered her. She was just a happy-go-lucky kid. But now our daughter is 17, and she's in her 11th grade year now. After all these years, I raised her since she was 7. She's in her 11th grade now. She's 17 years old. And, she's strong-willed, very strong-willed. So at times, there are things like I want her to do, and then she doesn't want to do them. She wants to do her thing. And I gotta, as a father, I gotta like kind of step back. It's like, hey, Andrew, you're not talking to a 7-year-old kid no more. Your 17-year-old daughter has her own thoughts now. You know, you could do that when she was 7 years old. You know, it's like, John, come here, we gotta go. But now, you know, she's only a year away from becoming an adult, and then you have to like not let go, but you have to give them their independence. And that, I think that's just the fight between me and her. Yeah, about independence. But our family is, you know, the three of us, we're good. We're really good. The Twala Bears are really good. And we've been good. So all you guys who are wondering, well, what happened to us after these 2, 3 years, we're doing good. Nothing has really changed. Um, you know, when I moved here, and I'll tell you, kind of like update what's going on. So when we were we lived in Tagaytay for about a year, and then the apartment was just getting too small. You know, we were just outgrowing. It was a really small apartment, and at the time we were paying 6,000. I believe it was 6,000. Yeah, babe, 6,000. I think we were paying 6,000 pesos for the apartment. Real small apartment. We had a really nice landlord, um, and it was great. And then after that year, we're like, man, it's just we've outgrown, man. We started acquiring more stuff as most growing families do. I said we got to get a bigger apartment, so found another apartment, and it's down the hill from Tagaytay, down from the mountain, come down to about 20 minutes to a city called Silang, and Silang is about 20-30 minute drive from Tagaytay and about a 3-hour south drive from Manila. So it's really nice in Silang because this is what I like and what we like about it. For one, we are still close with her family. So my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, they both live in Tagaytay. And she also has a sister here who's single, by the way, folks. She's single. So if there's I shouldn't say that. I might be breaking the YouTube guidelines. So my sister-in-law, she has a sister-in-law here in Tagaytay. And I mean, sister-in-law. I have a sister-in-law. So my wife has 2 sisters here in Tagaytay and another sister who lives in Canada. She lives and works out there with her son. And so that's pretty much the family dynamic that I have to deal with. There's 4 sisters, and my mother-in-law and father-in-law live in Tagaytay. So we wanted to be close when we moved. We wanted to be close to the family. We didn't want to leave the area. So I found an apartment which was bigger and had a dedicated garage for my car that I had purchased. And so if we have a video about the new car we had purchased. You could look at one of our videos, older videos, that it's there. So we were happy because we didn't leave the area pretty much. We're only like 15-20 minutes from the Tagaytay. So the apartment was fine. We have a great landlord. He owns this place, and he's the landlord also, and he just a really nice guy. So we moved into this new apartment. The old apartment was also 2 bedroom, 1 bath, but it was like really small. Like everything was enclosed in this really small space. But now that we have a longer apartment, we've been here 7 years, and it's a little bit more wide, more space to live in. But as time goes by, and we've been here 7 years, now it's time to move. Again, it's time to transition. Always got to be growing, man. I always feel you got to be growing. Don't stop growing. You know, always be doing better, right? So for the longest time, I didn't want to buy property, buy a house, build a house. And I'll tell you, in the past, we had bad luck, kind of. Not bad luck, but it was, um, we started something that we didn't finish. So back in those first few years that I was here, um, we were offered a lot to buy, right? And I'll tell you about one of the properties we were looking at. So we were looking at this one property, and if you're not familiar with how deeds work here for when it comes to land, it could be very tricky. So be very careful if you ever decide to go that route to try to buy a lot and build a house on it, because there can be a lot of issues with that lot if it comes down to who owns the deed. Is it a free deed? I mean, is it a clear deed with no restrictions on it? Or it could be one of these, what they call tax declaration properties, that that the government really owns it, kind of, I don't know, halfway owns it. There's a name on it, but it's tax declaration, and there's a lot of problems with those tax. I don't know the ins and outs about that, but there's a lot of problems with these tax declaration um, properties, lots. And the thing with a tax deck is that, what if you decide to buy one of these tax deck properties, and then the government says, hey, we actually are going to run a freeway through here. You need to sell your place, and we're going to give you money. You need to go because this is a tax deck, or something like that, right? It's not going to be a free, clear title. And I don't even think if it's a tax declaration, tax deck, what they call it in short, is you probably won't get the title. You don't get a free deed, free title once you pay for the property. I think tax deck still stays with the government for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe you guys can explain to me in the comments. So we had gone to a property first few years I was here, and the wife and I saw this large property. It must have been, man, the lot was big. It was like 200 square meters. It was all this land. And, when I had just moved here a few years, and I was all excited, I was all pumped, man, let's go get a property. Let's build, let's get a house. And I was all gung ho, let's spend the money. I got the money. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So like this property, the only thing about it is you had to do a few things to it. One is it didn't have access road. So this is another thing you're going to have to pay attention to when you buy your property, is like, one, can you access it? And a lot of these properties are not next to the main road. Like, your house will be right there next to the main road. You will either have to make sure that there's a road going into the property, because the property may be in a little road, or there may not be no road. And so the property that we were looking at didn't even have a road going into it. It was just like somebody made a little homemade road going in. But if you really wanted a road, you would have to have somebody pave. And it wasn't very far. It was like a little slope going into the property. And then, so, it wouldn't be too much money, I don't think, to build a small little roadway going into your house. But that's how a lot of the properties are. So we looked at this property, and I asked the wife, or then girlfriend at the time, I said, hey, babe, what do you think? Should we get into this property? And she goes, well, it's up to you. It's your money, But, I wanted to always include your other half in decisions, right? And plus, they know a lot about how it is. I mean, I had to go to my wife to ask her a lot about what this tax deck is, and the problems it could be if you try to get into something like that. So we didn't want that. So apparently, this property that we wanted, it was like a big property, baby. Yeah, it was like 200 square meters, I think. It was like 200 square meters, and they wanted a certain amount of money. I can't remember, but we decided, usually here you put a reservation on it, right, to get it. So we had put down, I don't know, something like $600, 600 USD to get the property. So you put this reservation fee, right? That's kind of like standard, right? It's to reserve it, I guess. I don't know. You put a $600 reservation fee, and then you go to the law office, and then you figure out what is your payment schedule going to be like, right? So we were going to pay payments on the property, however million pesos it was going to be. I can't remember at the time. So we went to the law office, we sat down, and we started, we had already gone to the bank and they wanted like pre-checks. They wanted like, what do you call them? I can't remember. They wanted already predated checks, I guess, ready to go. So every month they could take the payment. But then before we actually signed the deal to get done to buy the property, there was an issue with the owners. So apparently there was one owner who was older who passed away, and then he left it to his kids, and there were like 5 children who owned this lot. And I remember I can't remember the details, but one of the 5 had a problem with selling the property. And so once I found out that there were issues, and I don't know, maybe it was just a ploy just to get us to raise the amount of money so we could pay more for the lot. Maybe it was, something like that. Maybe one of the brothers or sisters of those 5 was like, just tell them that there's one that doesn't want to sell, that, maybe you should up your offer, because that could have been like a, leverage technique to try to just get a little bit more, squeeze out a little bit more money from us. And as soon as I heard that there were like 5 of them, it wasn't just one seller, and there was 5 brothers and sisters, and there was one not so sure if they wanted to sell. I told my wife, we're gone. I'm done with this. I was getting bad vibes. Didn't want to mess with that. So we just, of course, you're going to lose your reservation. They got their $600, enjoy. We hope you enjoy your $600 that you got. And we're on our way. But at least we didn't get into 2, 3, 4 million. However, I can't remember. It was like 2 million for the property. We're not going to deal with that. So we just walked away. We lost our 600. And after that experience, I was like, we're not going to do this no more. And so I was very skeptical, and I haven't used that word before. I was very skeptical about trying to acquire property here, building a house, and owning a home here in the Philippines. I said, I guess we're just kind of resigned to renting, like most expats do here. A lot of expats too have made videos about it's not a good thing to own property here. And in case of you guys who are kind of new, who don't know, is that there's some truth to all this that you shouldn't own. Is that if you come here and you want to buy a house and buy property, just know that you yourself, as the expat, you cannot own property in a house here. That's not how it works here. So normally, like say if we were to buy that lot that we reneged on, my wife, it would be in her name. So it would not be in your name because foreigners are not allowed to own property here. Now, there are exceptions to that rule in the fact that if I remember, because I did a lot of research and I think it's proven to be the same here, you can own, if you're a foreigner, you can own a condominium, like say in those high rises in Manila, you can own that condominium under your name as long as, one, it has a certain percentage of actual Filipinos that live there, like 40%. Like there has to be a percentage number of Filipinos who live in that condominium for you to actually be able to purchase a condo in those high rises. But I didn't even want to go that route. I kind of looked into it. I was like, man, I see so many horror stories of people who like get into those condominiums, and a lot of them, the price of them are so high, and then they can't even sell them now. I mean, when I moved here, there were so many people like handing us pamphlets for all these high-rise units you could use for investment. You know, if you sell it, if you buy it now, the price of them we're going to skyrocket. That's what, you know, they always promise you pre-selling. It was tons when I moved here. Tons of people sending you, giving you pamphlets of downtown condo high rises that were going downtown in Manila. And if you get into these properties, you're going to be able to invest in one of these properties. You're going to make money. You know, if you buy for like 5 million now, it's going to be like 10 million. You know, I remember this one. We had an Airbnb one time. I came here. We asked this girl who let us use the Airbnb. We're like, she was the owner also, and we're like, she told us, "Oh, I'm also trying to sell." And I said, "Oh, really? You're trying to sell this little?" Because the Airbnb we got was just like a literal studio, small little space, little room, could have been like a closet, and it had the only separate room was the bathroom, right? So at the time, this was 2015, I asked her, I said, "Is this, how much do you want for your condo here?" And I didn't consider that like a condo. She's like, "Oh, I want 5 million, 5 million, 5 million pesos for a room the size of my bedroom here." And, hey, my honey's back. You want to say hello to everybody? No, you want to show your face? Later on, I guess she's gonna show her face. We'll be together again, the Twala Bears. So, anyways, so I didn't want to go the condo route, and now it seems like a lot of these expats who have purchased these condos, or even Filipinos who have purchased these condos, they can't even sell them. They're having a hard time selling them for even the prices that they bought. So they're stuck with these mortgages, and who knows, maybe they're going to foreclose because they, you know, their thought was to purchase it at 5 million maybe, and then make a killing. Like maybe it'll go up to 7 or 8 million later on, you know, it'd be an investment property, but now can't sell them for even the price that they paid for. So we did not want to go the condo route, and we've heard issues of, you know, just the facilities not working there. It's not what it was cracked up to be. So I was kind of like not really wanting to get into the housing for all these years. So we rented. We've been renting for the last 7 years. And so now I find myself 59 years old, right? Not quite 59. I'll be 59 this October. And I don't know, just something told me, is like, you know what? And I started thinking, like, how much money have my wife and I been able to save since we've been here in the Philippines? So also another reason why I decided to come back to the channel is that I am so very tired of some of these vloggers talking about $1,500. That seems, I don't know where they're getting this arbitrary number from. It's like a lot of them are saying that $1,500 is not enough. Most of them are saying not enough. All you can do is survive. I heard one vlogger say, if you really want to live in the Philippines, you need 3,000. It's like, you know, and you got to have this kind of condo. You got to have these amenities. And it's like, no, it's like wrong. All these guys saying that $1,500 is not enough. And that is a lie. That is not true. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I've been here 9 years. You don't believe me? Go talk to one of those vloggers who've only been here a year. There's a lot of new ones now. I notice all the older guys who I used to follow, you know, they either died or they don't vlog no more, or, you know, they just kind of don't talk about the old ways again, about budgets and how they used to live, because they're just tired of it. They've been there, they've done it. They don't want to talk about budgets anymore. they want to enjoy their lives. So, but these new vloggers, they come in here and then, you know, they talk about $1,500 for some reason. I've seen that in like about 10 videos recently. So when I moved here, I told you that I made about $1,400. That was our budget. That was my military retirement to move here. It's not much. I was making really good money in Hawaii, and all of a sudden to quit my job and to move here just to live on $1,400 with a then girlfriend who's now my wife, and then her daughter who was 7 at the time. I said, it was a lot of pressure, right, for me. So fast forward from 2016 to 2019, our budget has changed. So if you go back to one of our older videos, I think we did. Yeah, babe, we did a budget video. I can't remember how much my pay was then. Do you remember? No, my wife doesn't remember. So the budget has changed from what I had then. Throughout the years, throughout these 16, throughout these 9 years, my pay has increased because of cost of living allowance. So the military has been, the retirement has gone up gradually, right? So now what my budget was $1,400 when I moved here, and it's now $1,900. So we've gone up about $500 monthly from what we had before. So don't forget, I retired at 50, so I was nowhere even close to collecting Social Security, if that was going to be an option also. So here I am. I was 50. Now I'm going to be 59 this October. And so there are a couple things that have changed, that have changed and will change even more. So I started thinking about plans and what we're going to do here soon. So being here at this apartment for 7 years, there's one thing that you notice. You don't own the place. You don't really want to put improvements into a rental, because say you spend big money for improvements. Why would you do that? Because it's not your place. You're not going to try to improve something for somebody else. But if you do that, eventually time kind of wears down the place, right? And so now that we've been here 7 years, you know, weather and things have weathered down the building. And so, and another thing is, we've also outgrown this place again. More stuff. Jana's not the 7-year-old girl no more. Our daughter, and although she has her own room, and this is a lot more space than most even Filipinos get, you know, I figure, you know, how can we keep getting better as a family? How can we keep growing to make our lives better? So I was soul searching, wondering, like, should we look for property again? And I was like, oh man, I don't want to do the lot thing again. I don't want to go look for lots. Been watching a lot of videos of other expats looking for lots, and here's the thing: a lot of the expats that I see that are doing vlogs about getting a lot and purchasing a home, go look to see where they're living. They're living like out in the country, out in the province. If you want a really nice home, yeah, you can go spend, I don't know, 6,000 pesos a square meter, and where it's cheaper, right? And you can buy yourself a large portion of land and build a house out there. But don't forget, you're going to be out in the country. You're not going to be, if you're the type of person who at least has to be somewhat closer to city life. There's not going to be no Starbucks, no McDonald's, no mall, no nothing, no stores, no supermarkets. You're going to be out far away. So be aware of that. If you want to get into property and get a lot here, um, most likely it's going to be farther away because the cost, unless you have the money, the cost of the square meters is going to be more expensive for land the closer you are to city life. So with that said, I was thinking about, okay, I had two options to do. We've been here 7 years. It's time to decide to move. So what are you going to do, Andrew? What are you going to do? You're going to rent again? And then where are you going to go? Am I going to take the family and we're going to go to live somewhere else? And here's the thing, what kind of like swayed my decision is that our daughter is in senior high school, 11th grade, and she only has 2 years left, right? She just started her 11th grade. And after her 2 years, we are planning to send her to a university that we like. She likes, our daughter likes, my wife especially has been wanting her to go to this university. It's called AUP, which stands for what, babe?
Adventist University.
Venice University of the Philippines. And what we kind of like about it is that it's an international university. It has a lot of majors that you can get into: nursing, journalism, all that kind of stuff. Chemistry, if you want to be, all kind of. I don't know all the subjects. I was horrible in college. So, but it's an international university where they come from all over the place, right? They come from like Africa, Korea. You'll see all kind of different nationalities there, which is nice. I like to see Jana like intermingling with a lot of different races and different cultures, right? To be a little bit more international. So knowing that in about a few years, Jana I'll be having to cover a tuition. I'm thinking, okay, do we want to be here? And where our house is kind of located, it's kind of far distance away from her university. So one of my options was to take the family and to go get an apartment closer to AUP. And AUP, although it's, is it considered Silang?
Yes.
Even though it's considered in Silang, which is our kind of like our county, our area, it's far. I mean, Cavite is a very big province. It's large, so it's far. So for her, if she were to start college and living here in this apartment, it would be a far travel, right? She'd have to take a bus and then take another Jeep and then another Jeep. You're looking at 3 different modes of transportation just for her to get to school in the morning at 7 a.m. So we're like, okay, no, we cannot be this far away from her university. We have to move either closer or she's going to have to go to a different university. So I've been thinking about what are we going to do for moving? So what I've been doing is looking online to see if there's any apartments that we could move closer to that side of Cavite. Or, down the hill, there's another city called Santa Rosa, which is close by to AUP down in Laguna. But I didn't know the cost of some of these apartments. So as I've been looking the last few years, I'm like, man, they're expensive. I mean, anything that I'm paying now, I'm paying, my rent here is $10,000 for rent. That's like a little less than $200 US. I'm like, when I look at what's available right now over there in either Santa Rosa or on that side of Silang, there's either not too much, or what you find is they're overpricing everything. So there's no way, looking now, that because they raise the rents, right? If you don't believe they do, they do. Rents have gone up here in the Philippines. So you know, we've just been good to have a landlord that's allowed us to keep a low rate like this. So 10,000, you're not going to get anything closer to that university for probably how much you think, like 25,000 to rent. So you're looking at probably like 25,000 to rent an apartment near that university, or just to be around there, or you know, it's, and then you're gonna have to pay first month's again, last month's deposit. You're gonna have to pay for all the hookups again. You have to pay again to get all the hookups, the electricity set up, the water, the internet set up again. Just all this moving costs. You're gonna have to pay somebody to move all your furniture again. And I'm like, man, it's just gonna be so much money to move. So we thought about it, and then so I said, come on, there's a subdivision by us, by the university called Verona, and you could go see it online. And so we went to go look, and it's kind of like on the upper end, kind of a subdivision. We didn't know if we could afford anything like that, so we went, we looked, and man, it's expensive. It's not cheap. So we looked at some of their models. They had these really big houses, and then they had one that was like a duplex, and that was probably on the lower end of their models. And I said, well, could we afford it? So as I was doing the numbers, I figured out, you know, it'll be close, but I think we could manage it. We could pay the down payment, and we can get into it. So to update you about the Tualas and the Tuala Bears, we finally put our foot down, and we purchased that duplex. And it's a nice duplex. It's not like your typical duplex. It's got a lot of space, 2-story, 100 square meters. It's pretty good. So we have to wait, because we just put the reservation, of course, and then this next month starts our. They give you a 24-month, no interest on your down payment, so you have 24 months to pay off your down payment, which we'll be doing in installments for these next 2 years. But then by the time you hit, when you hit 15% of your, which is what they require for the down payment, is 15%. Once you pay your 15%, they start construction. So what our plan is to pay our 15% early, so they can start the construction. And then hopefully within the next few years, our house will be built pretty soon, within either 2 years or just a little bit past the 2 years. So, you know, time has started now. We're on the clock. Starting next month, when we make our first payment for our new house, we're on the clock. So that's pretty much what we've been doing. Tuala Bears are doing fine. We've been great. And hopefully I'll start putting new content about retiring here to the Philippines. Welcome you guys back to our channel. I want to start growing it again. We'll be covering new subjects. And thank you guys. Appreciate you. And maybe later on, it's really early here in the Philippines. Maybe later on, it's like 5:46 in the morning. Here, it's probably a lot later in your time. So maybe we'll go live here again later on sometime. But we'll be doing some more videos, and I'll talk about different subjects here in the Philippines. So guys, we're back. Tuala Bears are back. So please like this video. If you stay the 1 hour and 39 minutes, thank you for staying with us. If you subscribe, and we're back, and we hope you subscribe. Please, like I said, like, subscribe, hit the notifications of any new videos I'm going to come out here soon. So I'm going to be talking about life here in the Philippines for Filipinos, for Americans, for expats that are here. If you have any questions, please you can go to our Facebook and send us a message if you have any questions about budgets or your money situation or what life is here in the Philippines and what to expect. I've been here 9 years, so of course I know quite a bit, and my wife knows quite a bit. So let us know, and you can go to our Facebook page. Like I said, send us a message there, or put some comments down here on this video, and let us know. Our first video, our first live. I don't think, baby, have we ever done a live? We've never done a live. So hopefully the next live I do, it'll be with my wife, and then I'm going to post some videos later on. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate you. We are back now with the Twala Bears, and hopefully we'll have some new content for you. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope some of this information helped you guys. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.